Everyone stick with us versus herd. We're going to cover why the stock market has been chopping us sideways and kind of like what to anticipate for this week in terms of trading. I mean, for most part, we've just been going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's been, people are like, when are we going to break out of here? Now, what I believe is what people are waiting for is obviously the CPI data. Before we get into that, if you want to connect with us, we have a Discord, we have a trading group on Facebook, and you can give me I have my number below in the description. You can, shoot me a text to talk about stocks, hang out, whatever you want to do. But let's get into it. Now, Friday, just so that you're aware, the economic data that's coming out Friday, all these times are Eastern times here. So we have consumer price index. This is going to be starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So just be aware of this. So I think this is what the market is waiting on right now. Like they're just saying, hey, we're not going to buy, we're not going to sell. Algos are just doing its thing, right? So we're waiting for this core CPI to come out. Now, why would they wait for that? Why would they wait for that? Like what is going on here, right? And one of the biggest things, you can get this at bls.gov. Just search CPI in data and it'll pull up in Google, right? Looking at the last 12 months, obviously we're at record highs up here. Now, one of the biggest things that the Fed and everyone was saying, so in March, we went from 8.5 and then in April and 8.3, and people were like, phew, things are cooling down. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, we've reached the top. However, they also said that back in May, when we reached 5.4%. May, August, September, it was steadying out, and then it just skyrocketed, right? So we went from 5 to 8 to 9, right? So we haven't hit in terms of what their number is. Now, we know their number is a lot different than what we think it is. We believe as a consumer, we know inflation is a lot higher than 8% because we're paying a lot of money for food, gas, energy, nat gas, oil. It's crazy, which I'll break down here in a second. But the biggest thing people are saying, the Fed's telling us, hey, we're cooling down, we've reached the top. And everyone like myself, are like, I don't think so. We're kind of just in the last week alone, personally, I've seen gas go up 30% in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. One day I was paying $4.80, next day I'm paying $1 more. It was crazy, paying $5.70, and this is at Costco. Right. So what the Fed is, and this data is going to expose what is actually going on. So this is going to be the data for May, not for June. So the data for April, we came in at 8.3. The data for March, we came in at 8.5. Just because we went down 0.2%, they were saying like, hey, we're cooling down. Everything's gonna be okay, right? Now, if we look at the kind of what they call is the drill down, right? What's really costing you the most money is, food is costing you 9.4%. Energy is costing you 30%. All items and less food is going to be at 6.2. So they're taking all these. The average is 8.3. So they take all these categories. You can kind of go through it. Food at home is up 10.8%, and this was back in April. And then food away from home is up 7.2. So they take all this data and then they compile it into, you get the all items, which is at 8.3. But you can see they take an average and they leave, honestly, they leave a lot of stuff out. But the number that we got to be, because what's the most concerning thing for me as an investor, as a trader, as a consumer is, them saying it's cooling down. Now the question is, are they telling the truth or are they lying? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Are they lying? Are they lying? So far, Yellen just this week, she was saying like, oh yeah, I regret my comments for saying inflation was transitory. I'm sorry, inflation is going to be high for a long time. And, it's good that she's coming clean, but these people need to come clean as it's happening, not like 6 months from now. It's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have said that inflation wasn't going to be high. We're going to deal with high inflation for a long time, right? And how the market is reacting to that, we're going to pull up SPY here. And over the last few days, a couple weeks, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going on 8 trading days here where all of them are all inside. And we're kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Are we going to break out or not? And if you're investing heavily before the CPI announcement on Friday. And this is probably why the market's not going anywhere, is because people are being cautious. They don't want to be too aggressive in terms of, where putting up too much risk right now. And you shouldn't, not investment advice, but you shouldn't be putting up too much risk either, right? You should just be taking it easy, one step at a time, and that's what a lot of people are doing. There's going to be a lot of opportunity after the announcements, and everyone's going to be like, well, you could do a strangle or straddle. You do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. I'm just saying, before this announcement, any trade is going to be high risk. There's no way to really, unless you're selling some premium, but even that you can get screwed on. There's a lot of ways to get screwed on this. And one of the ways that I like to trade is like, okay, I count the number of ways I can get screwed. If the risk is too high, I don't put the trade on, right? So SPY, we are chopping sideways. We had some crazy price action today, especially, we'll zoom in here on the 15-minute chart. We were going up this morning, down, up, down, up, down, and then we finally cratered. But if you look back, the crater, we're still within the last 5 days, we've been going up to basically 407 to 418, created this range. We're just chopping back and forth in it. If we look at the NASDAQ or the Qs, same exact situation, right? We're just chopping back and forth. We went from 303 up to 315. Now we're at 308. So we're literally in the middle over the last 5 trading days. We're literally in the middle of this range right now, and we were a little bit higher, but this thing just took another leg down. So what I would say is we don't know what the data is going to be. Honestly, I don't believe the Fed is going. I don't think that we've cooled inflation, because like I said, in the last couple of weeks, I'm paying 30%, 25% more at the pump than I was 2 weeks ago. And if that is any indicator, right? And also groceries are costing everybody more. Everything is costing more. Nothing has gone down in price. And if we're trying to measure inflation, the only thing that probably could save us is, housing is getting some price cuts, but that's about it. So let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.